Super Bowl 47 is going to be probably one of the most physical football games that we've seen, Super Bowls that we've seen in a long time. You got two of the most physical football teams, in my opinion, in the San Francisco 49ers going up against the Baltimore Ravens in the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. In this video, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of keys for both teams to watch out for. A couple of players also for both teams that will be key to a victory on either side. One big key both teams can take advantage of, as well as a matchup to watch out for, X factor on each team, player-wise, and also that moment in the Super Bowl that usually happens where where one team takes advantage of it, or that oh shoot moment in the playoffs in the Super Bowl where you have to come back and compose yourself. Whether it be Devin Hester's kick return to open up the Super Bowl a couple of years ago, or be Eli Manning's throw to Mario Manningham or David Tyree, or be the onside kick in the Super Bowl a couple years ago with the Saints and the Colts. Just that moment in the game that I think that will probably happen, and it actually might shock you with what I think it is, as well as a winner. I pick a winner. But first, I'll start off with the keys for the Baltimore Ravens. I definitely think they need to establish the inside run game. Just establish a run game, period, either be inside or outside. 49ers have one of the most physical front sevens you'll ever see in football. When you see guys like Navarro Bowman and Patrick Willis, who are two great linebackers, and you have one great defensive end in Justin Smith, it's going to be really hard to run inside, but they're going to try to do it with guys like Ray Rice, who I believe is the most he's the most complete back in the NFL. He does everything for you. He may not do one thing great, but he does everything really good. And I call him the most complete back, along with Bernard Pierce, who's been coming on strong towards the end of the season in this postseason. So that's something they need to find a way to get inside, run in the ball inside, as they had success with definitely against the Denver Broncos with that inside zone running game. But I also think they need to run outside and challenge a guy like Aldon Smith, who I think is a phenomenal talent, phenomenal football player, one of the best pass rushers we have in the league, had over 20 sacks this year, but he does tend to struggle with shutting off blocks, taking on blocks, getting off, and making a play in the run game. So I think they'll attack him that way. Another key is definitely going to be third down conversions offensively for them. Being able to convert those third downs. Joe Flacco's been phenomenal this postseason. Eight touchdowns, zero interceptions, over 600 yards passing. His ability to be able to convert on those third and shorts, or third and mediums, or even third and longs. He has to convert on them third downs to keep his defense fresh and keep that tired defense on the field for the 49ers, and keeping that offense off as well. So that's going to be a key. And I think a third key and the final key for them is going to be containing Colin Kaepernick and having the ability and telling him, you are going to beat us with your arm. You're going to win the Super Bowl with your arm and not with your legs. And it's going to be hard to contain because, like I said, he's a dynamic guy. He's a phenomenal athlete at the quarterback position who is very arm talented. And he's going to be, I think he has a chance to be a star in this league. But the thing that separates good quarterbacks from the elites, I think, in this league is going to be touch. And I don't think he has that quite yet. Being able to drop that ball in between the safeties and the linebackers, or between the safeties and the corner on a deep route. I think they're going to try to play a lot of zone, or they're going to play some zone and confusing him with man, because you can't play man with him all game, or you're going to get torched like the Packers did. So I think they're going to try to find a way to tell him, you're going to have to fit this ball in the tight window that we're going to give you. We're not going to give you wide open lanes, or we're not going to give you an easy throw. We're going to challenge you. See if you could drop it over Ray Lewis. See if you could drop it in between Ed Reed and Jimmy Smith, or you could drop it in between Ed Reed, Shockey Brown, or Ed Reed and Corey Graham. Drop it in between one of them corners. I want to see if he can really do that, and that's going to be a key for the Ravens, if they can not have him do that, which will probably make it easier for them to have a victory. Players to watch out for this game for the Ravens side is definitely going to be Anquan Bolden. Joe Flacco's #1 target. Elodie Nahad, Ray Lewis, his last NFL game, which I know that team wants them to win a Super Bowl. And Justin Tucker, the rookie kicker out of Texas, who made big kick after big kick, and has been a very stable addition for them. And he's been phenomenal all season long, especially with the big time kick he made in Denver a couple weeks ago to get them to go to the AFC Championship game. Moving on to the 49ers, a couple of keys for them is utilizing that team speed. I think they had the biggest advantage in this game with being able to take guys like LaMichael James and spreading him out, or putting him in the backfield, because he has that dynamic of speed. You have a Randy Moss out there. You have Ted Ginn out there. those guys are speed. And then you go inside to probably one of the fastest players in the league, and Vernon Davis at tight end, and Delaney Walker who runs a 4.445. They have to take that advantage, because I think the Ravens defense is a tad bit slower, and they should be able with Vernon Davis, Delaney Walker, and LaMichael James being able to cause that mismatch and exploit that for them. So that's going to be huge for them. I think their offensive line needs to be dominant. They're the best offensive line in the league, so I think they have to be dominant in order to win this football game. And I think they have to cause some turnovers. Like I said, Joe Flacco hasn't turned the ball over this whole postseason. 0 interceptions. I think he hasn't turned the ball over fumble-wise as well. And Ray Rice, even though he had 2 fumbles lost in a game against the Denver Broncos, he hasn't fumbled all season long in a regular season, or lost a fumble. So that's going to be key. They're going to have to cause turnovers and be able to get Colin Kaepernick back out on the field and being able to put up points against this Baltimore Ravens team. Players to watch out for the Ravens are going to be a guy like LaMichael James, like I said, being able to use his speed. Randy Moss is definitely going to be a guy to watch out for in this game, as well as I think Aldon Smith being able to create pressure, and Patrick Willis. I think Patrick Willis is also going to be somebody you guys have to watch. It's going to have to be a key player for them to hold on to victory. Moving on to the one big key that both teams can take an advantage of is the big play. I think that the big play is going to be huge in this game. If you saw the Atlanta game a couple of weeks ago against the 49ers, they gave up a couple of big time deep throws, and as well as the Ravens capitalized on a big time deep throw to Jacoby Jones. And those big plays are going. Who's going to be the team to be able to create and also keep to a minimum of the big plays on each side of the ball? Can the Ravens or the 49ers offense create those big plays? Deep ball to a Randy Moss, or a deep ball to Torrey Smith, or a deep ball to Anquan Bolden? And can that secondary of the 49ers and the Ravens, can they keep those big plays from happening? That's definitely going to be something that both teams can take advantage of, because they both have the weapons and the capability to do that. So that's going to be huge. A matchup to look out for in this game, I definitely believe, is going to be the offensive line against the outside pass rushers of this team. If you look at the Ravens, they really struggle with being able to protect, especially with guys like Aldon Smith. That Aldon Smith matchup against whichever tackle is definitely going to be huge. So they might have to have somebody chip, as well as also you have one of the best pass rushers in the league with Terrell Suggs, as well as Paul Kruger, who's been coming on strong. So the tackles versus the outside pass rush is definitely going to be something huge to watch out for in the matchup. The biggest matchup to watch out for in this game. X factor for each team. I think the X factor for the Baltimore Ravens is going to be Ed Reed. Guy's a playmaker. He's probably the greatest safety in my opinion to ever play the game. He's a playmaker, and I think his ability to make a play, he may be able to make a play or two in this game that help the Ravens win. Or as well, on the other hand, you have a guy like Ted Ginn Jr., who I think is going to be the biggest X factor, because his ability. If you remember in that game against Denver, they lost 14 points on special teams to Trenton Holiday on the Broncos. The Ravens did. So that's going to be huge. Can Ted Ginn get those hitting yards and give big yards for the offense, and give him shorter yards to field, or even make an explosive play and score, and give him that moment or that big time play in the Super Bowl, which is going to be big. So those are my 2 X factors, and my moment is definitely going to be, I believe some point in time in this game, as crazy as this sounds, that we might see Alex Smith play and end this game. Everybody's been making a big deal about Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick coming in. I think this will be the first. I think we're going to see Colin Kaepernick. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, but I think that he's going to take a big shot from Bernard Pollard. If something's going to happen in this game, and we're going to see Alex Smith in a big spot, or we're just going to see Alex Smith the rest of the game, that is going to be huge. How each team responds, and I think that the ability that Alex Smith has played this year and got his team to the NFC Championship game last year, that's going to be something huge to watch out for. So I do believe we might see Alex Smith in this game at some point in time, whether it be for a series, a quarter, a half, I don't know, but I just believe, I have a gut feeling that we see Alex Smith play in this game and play quarterback and try to produce for this team and help him win a Super Bowl. And for the winner, I'm picking, it's crazy because on the other hand, you have you just think that the Ravens are on an ultimate high. But if you look at the 49ers, they're they look like a better team. They had the better matchup, like I said, in the speed. But at the end of the day, I think I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. I just think that this team is clicking on all cylinders. They're a hot team. And if you've seen the pattern in the past, the hot team wins the Super Bowl. So I think I'm going to pick I'm going to go pick the Baltimore Ravens to win this game. I'd say around 28-24. It's going to be it's going to be a close game. And I think that it's going to come down to a last drive, or it's going to come down to Joe Flacco making plays, or that defense trying to make a play in order to win that Super Bowl. So I got the Baltimore Ravens winning the Super Bowl, winning it all, winning the Hard Bowl, the Super Bowl, whatever you guys want to call it. But I got the Baltimore Ravens winning 28-24. Let me know what you guys think, and enjoy the Super Bowl.